Hello guys, this is Gopi back with another video in the C# series. In this video we are going to discuss about the API project. In the last video I haven't discussed about the Swagger UI. Now we are going to discuss about that. So before that, let me open this launch setting and then see what all the details are available. If you go to this profile, right, you can see they mentioned it as a API profile. This profile name by default comes in here, so that if you run the project, it by default takes this profile and execute it. Whatever the configuration they provided it here. What are the configuration they provided it here? So they do have some launch browser is true, so that the browser automatically get opened. I already explained that API project doesn't have any UI. So it will by default open a empty screen. But nowadays with the latest version of this .NET 6 or 6.0, whatever that you are saying, that by default comes with the Swagger UI. You can see the launch URL. They directly targeted to the Swagger. That means it by default launches a Swagger URL. If you wanted to change it, of course you can change it to any specific controller. Shouldn't be an issue. Apart from that, you can see that application URL. Which one should I use? That's up to the configuration. One is for HTTPS, another one is HTTP. And then what is the environment variable setting, which is development environment. You can see that this is the profile. One is nothing but API profile. Another one is IIS Express. We all know that whenever we develop any web application with Visual Studio comes with inbuilt IIS server. Whenever you run, it deploys on that inbuilt IIS server and that get executed. And that's how all the things are working. And the same content or configuration is provided it here. IIS Express, launch URL is Swagger, and the environment is the development. If you go up, you will able to see the IIS Express configuration that supports the SSL port, that is nothing but HTTPS. Now what we can do is, let me click on this run button so that I can explain what is that Swagger URL or else the Swagger UI, how it looks like, how I can interact with that before developing any of our own APIs. So here you can see the browser windows is pop up and you can see that the content Swagger URL or the Swagger UI page get rendered. Before that, here you can see, right, localhost 7231 Swagger. So if you go to Swagger, it by default redirect you to the swagger.html file. This is the launch setting launch URL they provided. This is how the Swagger UI looks like. You can see, and this is the JSON, Swagger JSON file. We don't have to create it. It will automatically create from that Swagger JSON file. All this content get populated. As of now in our project, we have only one endpoint under weather forecast controller and that is present here. If I open that, you can see this is how the Swagger UI by default looks like. Get weather forecast. Okay, this is nothing but the controller name. I will be explaining more about how to structure this endpoint in our upcoming video. As of now, try to understand how this looks like, how to interact with the Swagger UI. This is going to be the GET request. You must know what is GET request by this time, because last video itself we discussed what are all the HTTP methods available and those related stuff. Now, what is the parameter does this GET method accept? No, this GET method doesn't accept any parameter. And then what is the response? Default to 200, which means success. You will be getting this kind of media type, the plain text media type. And then you can expect the result should look like in an array of object. How will I able to see the actual result? Click on the try it out and then click on that execute button. Now the request is sent to this URL and this is the response you get. Where does this response populate? We haven't written any code so far. No, this code are not written by us. You can see various summaries that array they are having and they are enumerating this endpoint and then they return with some date, some temperature and then some summary. This summary is also they randomly picked from this array and that is how the response to this object is prepared. Now you know how to work with this Swagger UI. In the upcoming video, we are going to create our own controller and we will be writing GET request, put, post, delete and patch request so that I can demonstrate that what or how to implement those things. Till then, bye, take care.